The original Asetek Invicta pedals remain the best I've ever used in terms of my outright performance. I love them. They seem to be made for me, with a flavour and personality to them that I truly gelled with. The price and slightly hardcore nature was the only thing holding them back from being my overall top choice for the average enthusiast. So the updated Invicta pedals are of great interest to me, and it mainly hinges around this, the THORP 2-cylinder, which is a rejigged and rearranged hydraulic brake cylinder, which also seems to be laying the groundwork for Asetek's future ABS system, which, if I was to guess, may be a force feedback related module. Combined with the inclusion of more elastomers and swappable parts to allow a much broader range of adjustment out of the box, the end result is a much more accommodating pedal set. Asetek's CEO Andre was clear about who these changes are aimed at appeasing and including.
That I'm a big fan of a short and hard brake, but I also have to realize that we have a lot of, let's call it couch potatoes, who's just doing casual racing that's asked for longer brake travel and softer brake travel.
So long as they haven't messed with the existing formula that I liked, that's fine by me. Let's have a look and see how the Mark II Invicta pedals perform. Before continuing, please be aware that Asetek has provided the Invicta pedals free of charge in exchange for review, as per usual, but this is a review, not an ad. All words are my own. Please watch the whole video through before making any decisions, but if you do proceed to buy, then check the description for a bunch of affiliate links for retailers where you can buy, including some with discount codes. Asetek themselves offers 5% off if you use code DannyLee at checkout, for example, but there's more to be found in the description, and thank you for looking. Out of the box, nothing crazy has changed with the way the Invictas look, and they do look good. They're still based on the same aluminium cast platform that Asetek's pedals are all based off, which gives them a distinctive style, set apart from much of the competition. They present themselves as purposeful with a unique style. There's no mistaking these pedals for any other brand, and you certainly cannot label them as boring. What's mainly changed from the Mark I Invicta pedals is the brake cylinder. It's now a chunkier, shorter cylinder with an orange anodized cap, with the main body bearing the THORP 2 label. This cylinder uses hydraulic fluid, the pressure of which is detected by an automotive grade sensor out of the top of the cylinder, paired with an interchangeable elastomer inside that cap, which serves to change the feel and resistance of the pedal under your foot. Just like the original, but now the numerous elastomers previously available as an optional extra are now supplied with it as standard, as well as the addition of new spacers. The griddle pedal faces are my favourite of any pedal set I've used because they grab hold of your racing shoes with absolutely no shift or movement. It's like a magnet, holding your feet in position and very confidence inspiring under high load braking. As this is the Invicta S model, the pedals are mounted separately. The S stands for split. They cost more, but I'd argue it's very much worth it so you can mount them in as comfortable a position as possible for you. One thing that I have stressed before and will stress again, Asetek's pedals are not very accommodating when it comes to pedal tray adjustment angle because the pedals themselves do not tilt. They sit bolt upright at 90 degrees and there's not much you can really do to adjust them. You do need to have a pedal tray which can point basically straight at you, straight at your hips, in order to be comfortable. You will not want to use Asetek pedals on a mounting plate that can't do that, because you'll be attacking them at a bad angle. This is one thing I would love Asetek to address in the future because quite a few lower and even mid-end cockpits can't quite do it and would render them basically unusable, although pretty much all higher end cockpits, particularly aluminium ones, will be fine. Once mounted and connected, you calibrate and tune them in Asetek's RaceHub software. Asetek's software is the most polished and confidence-inspiring companion of any sim racing hardware I've used. Honestly, the programmers involved with this deserve double pastries at breakfast. It's superbly quick and stable and reinforces the entire feeling that you've gotten what you've paid for. I really can't fault them here. The LED strips on the Invicta pedals do give the rig a bit of extra personality, and they are an active LED system which reacts to telemetry and track flags as you drive. It's not the most useful thing down at your feet, but it is nice to look at when you're not in the seat, though you can leave them completely off if you like. Calibrating the pedals is easy, as you are shown the bar pressure rating when doing so if for any reason you have to calibrate, you can easily recalibrate to the same max pressure every time. The brake pedal, much like the THORP 1 cylinder, has a certain stickiness to it when you're just sitting in the rig pressing it, almost as though it's grabbing or binded by the hydraulic seals. When you press it for the first time, you'll be alarmed at what you feel. It doesn't feel good. However, trust me, this is actually a total red herring. When you're actually driving it and using it for real, this sensation simply evaporates as if it's just not there, and it feels ridiculously smooth. It's quite bizarre how bad it feels to tire kick the Invictas against how good it feels to actually use them. I don't know how they do it. Adjustment is generally simple and straightforward, as almost all the things that are adjustable are anodized in orange, where it's possible to easily find them. On the throttle pedal, you can change the resting angle, backstop angle, spring preload, and the actual spring weight itself, all relatively simply and without unbolting the pedals from the rig. The brake is also adjustable in a similar manner, but there's more to it than that. Supplied in the box are multiple rubber elastomers of different grades and colours, ranging from soft to hard, covering the full spread of 5 firmnesses. I personally have stuck with a standard orange insert, and swapping them around is done by undoing the main orange cap from the THORP 2 cylinder and placing your preferred elastomer inside. This is a 1-minute task maximum, and these metal end caps also play a role in pedal feel. They can be mixed and matched to reduce the amount of compression in the pedal before you hit that second stage hard wall. This all amounts to more adjustability than the original Invicta pedal gave you in a way that's easier to wrap your head around. I personally think these pedals are absolutely sublime. The brake pedal imbues the most realism of all I've tried. I haven't tried every pedal set under the sun. I haven't even tried any other hydraulic brake pedal. So I want to stress something here. It doesn't matter to me whether or not it actually is true to life, because like 99% of you, I don't know what's true to life in a GT3 or GTP. What matters to me is how the sensation paints an image in your mind, and it is somehow very absorbing and convincing. I really do feel like I'm pressing down on a set of 6-pot race car brake calipers when I press the Invicta pedal, and I think it's because the pedal isn't a glassy smooth press like the VRS pedals are. It has some texture and subtle multi-stage feel to it, which you don't really feel when you're racing, but your brain does. As I did with the originals, I just feel like I can brake very accurately, smoothly and confidently with the Invictas because they're excellent for people who like hard brakes. I can modulate the throttle extremely smoothly as well, and despite being a through rod throttle, the smoothness is almost indistinguishable from the rodless VRS pedals. With these pedals, I simply feel more at one with the on-screen car, more able to scrape the very last shavings of accuracy out of my own reflexes than with any other I've used. With this update, it's pretty clear. They've not ruined a good thing, they've just supplemented it. So now, although you now have a wide spread of brake elastomers and spacers to choose from, pay attention to the manual because the order of stiffness is not this, it's this. I don't know whether it's just me, but that seems like it's been done to annoy me on purpose. The light green elastomer is the softest one and is very lightweight, easy to press with very low resistance. This results in a pedal feel that's very light through the first stage, then hits the second stage, which is like a wall. It's possible to calibrate the brake so that the first stage covers your entire brake pedal travel. It's about 10 bar of pressure, which is 30% of what I'd normally go for, which means if you like softer brakes, you'll be well catered for. However, you could still calibrate the pedal so that you can continue pushing into that second stage. You could also screw the orange cap down a bit more to preload the elastomer, and you could switch the metal core spacers around to alter the amount of travel you get. Last but not least, if all of that is still not enough, there's now an alternative extra anchor point you can use to multiply your leverage on the brake cylinder, making the pedal feel softer and unlocking more potential combinations. Long story short, the Invictas are now considerably more adjustable as standard, covering many more people's preferences. Ultimately, all these elastomers have been available as an optional extra for a while due to popular demand. These aren't themselves a new addition to Asetek's lineup. What's changed is that you will now get them as standard. No need to get them separately, and when the kit used to cost €40, that's great news. One addition introduced with the THORP 2 cylinder is this thing on the side. Although it means nothing at this stage, Asetek has indicated that they're going to introduce an ABS add-on system in the future. No idea when, could be a long way away, but that's why these new protrusions now exist in the main cylinder chassis. Presumably this will be Asetek's answer to the active pedal, physical feedback delivered via the cylinder. That's what I hope it's going to be anyway, but it's pointless speculating at this stage. If you want updates on that, you're best off following Asetek's official social channels because they do love forecasting well ahead of time what they're up to. Generally speaking, this updated version of the Invicta pedals is just that, an update, or to be more exact, an expansion. They haven't messed with the original formula, they've just made it more flexible and generous with more accessories as standard to modify pedal travel and pressure grades to suit more people. Everything I loved about the original Invictus is still here, and I am enjoying using them again, but there's a shift. Before, I framed the Invictas as hardcore pedals best suited to hardcore minded people who subscribe to the concept of stiff brake pedals and racing shoes, so on and so forth. I still believe that is the best way to enjoy the Invictus with a stiff brake pedal, but Asetek themselves have eased off a bit, chilled out, accepted that not everyone wants that. Everyone who would have loved the originals will love these. They haven't messed with a good thing, and it mostly feels like a quality of life update. That THORP 2-cylinder itself feels largely the same as the old one to me in terms of how it operates, but with that mysterious ABS module somewhere in the pipeline, it's probably got a surprise in store somewhere down the line. If you're a mega sim racing enthusiast, so long as you take note of what I said about the pedal mounting angle, you should love these. Thanks for watching, I hope this was informative and helpful. Don't forget to check the video description on where to buy Asetek kit. You'll find discount codes there too for certain shops. Any questions and comments are welcome and encouraged, and cheers again.